Good, thank you.
So would you mind saying the date, Greta?
Yeah, someone is coming in. Today is October 26th, and Alexis and I are here in London for Sacred Segments together for the first time, and we are excited to see you all.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. So starting with gratitude, I'd just like to say I'm really grateful for the beautiful meal that Greta just made. What about you? What are you grateful for?
I'm very grateful to be here right now.
So you have, yeah, log in there, and then we'll launch the tax office software, and then we'll see.
So I muted Smith.
Uh,
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm grateful for being here with you and for Joe and for hosting Sacred Segments together today.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm grateful for being here and having that wonderful meal that Greta cooked for us, and just being out of the house and out in the world.
Nice. Anna?
I'm grateful for new beginnings.
Nice. Jen? Bonnie, sorry.
That's okay. I have to tell you, when Greta was just speaking,
Hello,
the
Kitty.
county that I live in just flashed on my computer that they were coming in instead of Greta. So am I thankful for this? I don't know. But I am thankful to be here. I'm thankful for this week. I've had a lot of things that are going on to prevent me from giving my talk tomorrow, but I'm thankful that I'm here to listen to Kate, because I can relax and take it from there. Okay.
Beautiful. What was it that flashed on your screen?
Okay, at the bottom left of my screen was a little bitty red sign that said Smith County.
Okay.
That's the county I live in. And so it was just a little bitty name, but at the same time I could hear like the police department or somebody coming through giving a report.
Oh,
And it
weird.
was just very weird, because that, that means I broke through there, or
They're still there.
We heard it too.
they are?
Yeah, there. I see like a logo.
It says Jasper.
Can you see it?
A Jasper. Oh, it changed.
No, Jasper.
Yeah,
I think Jasper is somebody that's that's on the group, but we just can't see
Yeah,
them.
but I thought something
Okay,
changed.
okay, yeah, but it looks like Jasper, but it's in red instead of,
Why
and it
is
said
it not on the screen?
it was weird. I don't know.
Because when you're muted and your camera isn't on, we won't see you. So maybe if Jasper,
Okay.
if you could unmute yourself and maybe turn your camera on.
I'm gonna mute.
Hi.
Only if you want to.
Apparently not.
No, don't worry. I know that sometimes he's at work and he.
So
he
you know
can't-
who it is.
Yes.
Okay,
He's
fine.
joined us before.
Ah,
Hi, Jasper.
hi,
Welcome.
Jasper.
So, Kate, something that you're grateful for.
Well, I'm quite grateful for this tiny little man on 10 kilos.
What a beauty!
Wow.
Oh, he's cute.
He was a stray cat living outside here and terrified for humans most of his life. But this autumn, 3 years ago, he was sitting on the window and I couldn't take it anymore, so I took him inside. He has become the mommy's boy big time. So yeah, he is really paying back for me taking him in, that's for sure. He's one of the lucky 7.
I love cats. Greta has a new cat as well, right?
I do. I have a lovely cat. Love my cat.
Yeah. Multiply them with 7 more pleasures.
I have 7 cats.
7 cats and 1 dog, yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, house
And-
full. And
Would-
I have another red and white also sneaking around in the areas in the office here. So
So in 20 minutes, I'm going to hand over to you, Kate, for around about 25 minutes, with an opportunity for us all to ask questions as well. So that would be around 30 minutes. And I just want to ask, is there anybody that wants to say anything before I talk about the first thing that I want to talk about, which is going to be just for about 3 minutes? Does anybody have anything that they want to say? Jasper, is there something that you want to share in terms of what you're grateful for? Maybe if you want to type it, and then we can see it in the chat, because I'm not hosting this and Grete is. I can't see where the chat is, but I'll be able to see it when she is back.
For you.
Oh, thank you.
So I just briefly wanted to introduce every sacred segments. I like to talk about a different angel, and I wanted to talk about the Archangel Zadkiel, who is the holder of the violet flame. And I noticed when I was just reading a little bit about what he does is that he's the Archangel of forgiveness. And it just made me think, because I'm singing in a concert next week, which is all about forgiveness. So it seems to be a bit of a theme. And I know that when we forgive, we do so for ourselves, not for the person that we are forgiving, right? So we letting go of that. So whoever it is that we need to forgive, the quicker that we can do it, then we can release any hostility in our hearts, right? That we are holding on to, that's toxic for us. And we often think, like, why should we forgive that person when they've hurt us so much? But when you think about it as something for yourself, then it becomes an easier process.
I think we find it hard because sometimes, like, we think forgiveness means condoning, and that's not the case. Forgiveness means letting go of the person's or their actions or their memories hold of you. And so it is for ourselves. It's not for the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm calling right now on the Archangel Zadkiel to be with us. And we called upon the violet flame, and he is the holder of the violet flame. And we're asking the Archangel Zadkiel, his essence, to be with us in helping us to forgive anyone that we need to forgive. So let's just do that for a moment, just by taking a deep breath all together. Let's just do it one more time. And in that deep breath, let's forgive ourselves as well for anything that we might be holding against ourselves. Thank you for letting me talk about that. I wanted to also briefly mention the power of the spoken word and how everything that we say, we're manifesting. And so to be aware of all the thoughts and spoken words that we speak, because a lot of us can be at different times critical or angry, which is like the normal human programming, right? It's the normal human conditioning. But if we can get out of criticizing, which I'm guilty of, I'm going to hold my hand up and say, I do it. And I do it quite a lot. And I think my partner will agree with me. I can be really critical, really kind of like, I was raised by a narcissistic mother, right? I was constantly put down. And I think I've developed those characteristics. So I have to unlearn them. So I just want to be aware and say it out loud that we need to let go of being critical, and then we'll have a better experience in our lives. So that was the other thing that I wanted to mention. And the final thing is, I've got these law of attraction cards by Abraham, and that's how I met Greta. I just, I felt instinctively drawn to contact her on an Abraham group, and turned out it was the right decision.
It turned out so well.
It totally turned out well. So I'm just going to pick one card for this session. Perfect. So this is about segment intending. So by segment intending, I can expand my time. Do you want to read that?
Yes, I would love to. As you become efficient with your segment intending, you will expand your usable time.
Jeg fant dette på nettet
Oh,
for
sorry.
SU-Becken-effekt.
That's Siri.
These Norwegians, they get everywhere.
What?
Goodness. Not
Jeg
talking.
forstår ingenting.
I'm going to do that over again.
Please do.
As you become efficient with your segment intending, you will expand your usable time. By being clear about what you want during each important segment of your day, you will harness the law of attraction to do its work, and it will require far less time for you to accomplish much, much more.
So just to understand what it is to segment intend, this is the way I understand it, and please tell me if you think it's different. So every activity that we do, like for instance, now we're here on Sacred Segments, if we have an intention to make it, for instance, a wonderful session where we go away and we all feel uplifted and we all feel happy and, oh, that was great, then holding that intention would be really powerful, a powerful thing for us to do. And then as we go away into the next thing, then we have a new intention to have a peaceful sleep or beautiful evening, whatever it is. That's how I see it. Do you see it like that?
Yeah, exactly. As you're moving through your day, starting with when you wake up in the morning, you can intend for your day to be a very good day. Before you get out of bed, intend for yourself to have a wonderful day as you start your day, getting dressed, getting your breakfast, your coffee, or whatever is your morning routine. Before you get into your car, if you're driving to work, you intend that you're going to have a peaceful and wonderful drive. Before you leave your car going into work, you intend that you're going to have a wonderful day with your coworkers, get things done, all of that. So as each segment of your day progresses, you set the intention for what you want.
And even before you get out of bed, you can program kind of how you're going to respond to your day, right? And how you want it to go. Like, for instance, I have two shows coming up this week, and I always get anxious before a show. And I've been visualizing myself performing with confidence and, letting go of the fear and seeing myself just projecting real strength and power, even though I'm terrified, just letting that go and seeing how I want things to be and holding that intention and reminding myself of that intention. So should we just share our intentions in a word or a couple of words for this session? And I'll start. And then we'll go to Luke and then you, Rita, and then through the group. So my intention is to feel at peace with myself during this time and for everything to flow smoothly during the course of Sacred Segments. Luke, good to see you.
Hello, folks. My intention is to enjoy the ride right now, just to relax, sit back. Life has been really crazy and busy lately, so I just need this moment to breathe and enjoy.
Nice to see you. Good to hear from you. Thank you. What's yours?
My intention is to help hold space for whoever needs to be seen, heard, and understood.
Thank you.
Mm.
Joe?
My intention is just to be here and be present and soak in everything that's being expressed.
Love that. Thank you. Kate?
Well, my intention is trying to share some of the stuff that I have in here, and hopefully I can do it in a good way and in a way that you can understand what I'm trying to say, because there's always a language barrier. Even if my English is not too bad, still there are still things that are difficult to explain, but I shall try to do my best.
I listen very much to language, and I was taught, and I'm going to mention it now, to let go of the word try, because the word try is laced with like a kind of negative struggle. So
I know I'm not using, again, then in my Norwegian language, I'm not using the word try, but
okay.
again, in the English language, then yeah.
So if you're going to use a different word to try, which word would you use?
I will.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's cool. Thank you. Bonnie?
Yes. I am doing a podcast tomorrow, and I will be selective on what to say, how far to go, and just I have to do my best. This is a try word, to sense what should be said and which should not be said. Does that make sense?
Makes absolute sense.
Yeah. So that's my intention, to know. Mhm.
Thank you, Bonnie.
You're welcome.
Anna?
My intention for this evening
Yes.
is to take a break from a crazy day and to be in community and to feel support and love.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's great to have you with us. Okay, so I think unless you want to say anything particularly, Greta?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah, okay. So if you're happy to start a little earlier, Kate, I'm now gonna hand over to you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's not any problem.
Wonderful.
What
would you do if I say I refuse? I'll wait on time.
Then I will be guided to the next segment.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I don't know your group that well, but as what you told me, that you are working a lot with the law of attraction, and that's normally not the topic I'm talking about when I'm on things like this or conferences, something like that. I'm normally talking about UFOs and my close encounters and so on. But this law of attraction has also become a topic of mine, because it also, some of the parts that I'm doing fits into the quantum physics that I'm doing with my last book that I'm still working on. So I guess I'll just first start. I guess all of you, are you using the law of attraction on a daily basis?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone of the others? Yeah. And how do you think the results are? Are they like that, or medium, or good?
I think for me, sometimes my vibration is not always high, and I feel it when it's not, and I'm reminded, or I feel uncomfortable, and I want to put myself in a high vibration, because I know that is the place that I need to be to feel better and to attract better.
Mm.
Yeah. And because most people, they are, when they are listening to the law of attraction, they are normally thinking that the words all the time, that they're putting up a new segment for the next time and the next thing during the whole day. But they're forgetting one very important thing, and that's the emotional scale of it. Because most people, they can go into a church, they can go anywhere, they can pray, they can do whatever thing they do. Normally they are asking out a question in lack. Or if they don't, and even if they don't put out a question in lack, they will put out a question, but there will be no power behind the question. There will be like a completely, your emotional scale is quite low most of the time, because if it's okay with you, I will just use you as an example. When you were mentioning your narcissistic mother, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is that the first 7 years of our lives, we are not conscious ourselves. Most of the stuff that we are taught goes in like on the theta level in our brain, is kind of like a self-hypnosis state. That is the evolution is that way, because we need to learn so much, and the only way to do it is actually to get all the programs down, what we're learning in surroundings, walking, talking, all kind of things, by doing that way. The only problem is that if someone tells you something, a parent can say, okay, you are stupid, and you will take that as a law down when you're downloading it, that okay, I am stupid, because you don't have your self-consciousness yet. So this will be kind of running our programs. And the same thing is that the emotional state. So if your parents are having kind of a moody state or very low state, or this kind of certain way of state, you will most likely inherit that level. So even later in life, a lot of people, they can say that, okay, I shall try to be in a good mood, but you can't go from the low point to the next level, because you don't know how to do it. And either way, it will be difficult. It's like you can't just sit down and say, oh, I'm happy, yay, hui. But the thing is that most people, they will say, oh, I'm happy. And you look at them and think, you don't look happy. But still, but in their scale, they can think that they are happy, because they haven't experiencing the other levels that is further up, because there are so many more levels than most people they don't even know about, because they think that, let's say that if they want to be happy, they need to find someone else from the outside of themselves to give them love, or give them a relationship, or all these kind of emotions. They think that others are coming into their lives and give it to them. And they think that that's the only time in their life that they can experience it. But that's actually wrong. You can train to do this. But of course, first of all, if you think back in the first 7 years of your life, then you can get some pretty good idea yourself on kind of what of level you are on when it comes to the mood. And then you can also understand why you think, okay, I do the same thing as everyone else, but it's difficult for me to manifest the things I want. Why does it happen to that one, but not to me? So a lot of people have that problem.
Yeah.
But of course, sometimes the thing you need to do, because if you are in that mode, you can never go further up. You need to make a hack your emotions. So since you can't sit down, close your eyes and try to meditate and trying to make your feelings get stronger, that will be more or less almost impossible for most people. Of course, you can come to a certain level, but then it stops. If you find something, for myself, I find heartwarming moments with people or animals that kind of hack me to go instantly into a higher mode than I would normally be able to bring myself to. And when you're coming into that hack, and you can really feel that really strong emotions that you normally don't have, then you are at a starting point where you can actually start milk it and work on that level and try to increase that one even further. Have anyone of you tried that?
That makes so much sense to me, because I feel instant love when I see an animal.
Animals just
too.
make their life better by just being, you know,
Yeah.
they don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, but do you think that you can even feel even more love?
Yeah, of course.
Love for animals.
Yeah, but still there are on a certain level. Can you feel the really, really, really love? It's like that you're feeling like your heart is bursting.
Definitely. For
Yeah.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
if
are
you,
you,
yeah,
are you saying like try and feel that feeling even when they're not there?
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Thank you.
But you can sit down and feel the feeling, so you can feel that your heart is almost going to burst.
Yeah, I can get into that feeling if I allow myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, then you're one of the lucky ones, because a lot of people, they can't. But again, that's a very good starting point, because it doesn't stop there. That overwhelming feeling that you have there doesn't stop. So if you start on that level, get yourself into that position, then you work on it further, higher and higher and higher. When you're doing this really good, let's say 15 minutes or half an hour, 2-3 days at a time, you will be walking around like on a pink cloud for a week or 2-3 weeks, just because of that little time that you're spending on it, if you're doing it properly. And the thing again, that if you are into that state, the higher state you get, and then you're more focused and clear on what you want, that combination, then you will attract things so much easier than you normally will if you are just trying to put out your request in a normal daily state, even if you're a so-called good mood state in a daily basis. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. So you're saying when you create a manifestation, or you are working on manifesting, if you can come from a space of love or real heart-centered space, then the manifestation will come about quicker.
Much quicker, yeah.
That makes
and you will also feel your day will change rapidly, in a big time. Because as I said, if you're doing this for that short amount of time, 2, 3, 4 days at a road, you will feel like a elevated state 24/7 for several weeks.
You're reminding me of a piece of film that I watched about Greg Braden. I don't know if you know who he is.
I know him. I met him in Los Angeles 2 years ago.
Right. Well, when he's talking about praying for rain, and he watched these Native American elders praying for rain, and all they did was just sit there with their eyes closed for a minute.
Yeah.
That was it, and then they were done. And what they did was they realized that the exercise that we did at the beginning, when we were bringing down the white light and the violet flame and merging it in our hearts. It's like, if we can be in the heart chamber, like you said, and enter that space of pure connectedness and love, the manifestation comes quicker. And then they prayed for rain by getting into their heart and just visualizing it with the space of love.
Yeah.
And the rain
Imagine if you are several more people that can do it at the same time.
Wow.
That's like a really, really powerful message.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that in order to manifest the things we want quicker, we need to be clear on what we want and to get to that higher state of emotion.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little more on how you get to that state? Because as you said, that's probably where most people struggle the most. So if I want to do that now, what do I do practically?
Well, first of all, I would find out what is your weak point that will make you get very easily into the high elevated emotional state. Like, for example, using the videos of something, or music, or something only you knows what can hit you. So and if you don't, then you have to figure out yourself, because it's individual to each person. But if you find it, then you would milk it immediately, because when you are there, most people, they are just thinking, oh, I have this really good feeling. They're just feeling it, perhaps a tear or two, and then they just let it go because the video went, and that was it. But instead of letting it go, just try to feel it and continue to feel it and continue to feel it, and then look for more things that makes you feel even more and more and more and more, and just feel on as much as long as you possibly can. And of course, one thing is how you feel the first time, but the next time and the next time and the next time, it will also change over time.
I have a question. Say, for instance, if the thing that makes us feel good is something that's not necessarily that good for us, like drinking. You know, like, oh, the thing that's going to make me feel good is having like a triple whiskey, you know.
Yeah.
Then one more, and then one more, and then one more.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you will see angels and fairies if you're drinking many enough.
Like, there might be dangers around that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't recommend it. No.
Yeah.
I had an experience many years ago. It was back in 2005. That was a spiritual character of it. I'm not a Christian, but I was interested in the topic of Jesus and how he was thinking, living, and how he was dealing with problems and things that was coming his way, etc. And one day I was sitting in the living room, and I was supposed to go into the kitchen because I was going to pick something up. And between the kitchen and the living room, there was this tiny little hallway. And when I'm getting up from the sofa and I'm coming into the hallway, I don't remember if I stopped or if I was still walking or what I did, but it was like, what would you call it if someone shows up, like, oh, my English words.
Like a manifestation, apparition.
Yeah, like a holy manifestation, or what you will call it. It was like a light over my head, and I felt wrapped in love, and that love, that it was so strong, so enormously, incredibly strong, that if you are taking yourself being in love, serious in love, and you are mixing that up by 1,000 times, then we're talking. So then when I at the end was ending up in the kitchen, I was thinking, what am I doing here? I had no idea. But just by going from the living room into the kitchen, I was a new person. It took me more than 2 years before I was actually landing. That one was a serious one. And I was so in love with everything I saw. So when my boyfriend came home, I was looking at him and I was thinking, no, I can't be together with you anymore, because I feel the same thing for you and for everyone else I meet, or animals. It didn't matter if the people were strangers. I felt exactly the same way. So I broke up with him.
What can I ask? What when you saw the apparition, what was it?
No, it was just like a light kind of thing. It was nothing else, nothing shaped, nothing. But it was that feeling of someone that was hugging you, and that was that love feeling that really changed you big time. Of course, I know that we as humans, I don't think that we will ever be able to get to that level, not in a human lifetime. But I know that there is a plenty more higher levels with love that we can accomplish if you just know that we can. And of course, we have to exercise and practice it, because we have never done that before in our lives. Because if you see what's on the televisions these days or in the news, we are all the time practicing the opposite.
It's like the world is designed to bring us down and keep us in fear, right? Well,
I will not say that it's designed, but our human race, from we were near Neanderthal, also how we will say that word, we are more creative to have our eyes open for disaster.
yeah.
That was a survival mechanism.
You know, Kate, you've reminded me of an experience that I'd completely forgotten about that changed my life. And I was, I think 15 or 16, and I had been out drinking, and I was living in Cyprus, and I drank a lot. And I came home and I got the shakes. Like I must have had alcohol poisoning, but I started praying, And I said, please, God, take this shaking away from me. Because I thought it was Parkinson's disease, because my great grandfather had it. And I must have been praying for about around 20 minutes. And from the four corners of the room, there were these bright lights that looked like a sunbed. And in Cyprus, we have those metal shutters so that there was no light coming into the room at all. And they gathered into the center and went down into a beam into my heart and knocked me backwards onto the bed. And I woke up with this feeling that you're describing, where the light took over you. And it lasted for maybe 24 hours where I was just floating on a cloud. It sounds, thank you for the tea.
It's very hot.
Imagine if you were flying on a pink cloud for several years. Let me put it that way. I think it was the next day, there was some debate on the television. There were some Christian people who said that they were blessed by God, and at the same time they were talking bad about homosexuals. And I was saying to my mother that, you know what, they had never been blessed, because if they were blessed, they could not say anything wrong about anything.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
After you said that you were in this state of bliss for about 2 years, when did you actually notice, were you conscious of it going away, or did it you just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, did you actually feel it leaving you?
Well, it went gradually, because you are not being unaffected of what is going on in the world or people around you or what is happening.
Yeah.
So it will slowly grab the new hold on you.
I asked because I just was wondering if it was the same as, if your experience was the same as mine, because the same thing happened to me. And it was actually an oak tree that facilitated this incredible bliss. It kind of just reached out and hugged me and told me that everything was going to be okay. And I when you were describing your experience, it was almost identical, really, to what I experienced. And it's about, I think it was, I don't remember, because I don't remember, it's not like it's an exact moment when you know, oh, that feeling's gone, because it is a gradual thing. But it was about 2 months where I was just floating, like my feet weren't on the ground. I was just floating, you know. Then
you know that you have you have some kind of a goal you can actually reach for when it comes to the emotional scale, instead of having the daily, you can be in love, but you're still down here compared to the things up here. But there are several scales up there that you can all the time try to reach for.
It's happened a couple times since then as well, but it didn't last as long, the second and third time. And interestingly, every time that it's happened, it's come out of sort of extreme emotional pain. Like being in so much emotional pain that it just cracks me open, kind of. And I've experienced this bliss. The first time it was just incredibly profound. And makes no sense. If you look at the state that I was in compared to my life circumstances at the time, it just makes absolutely no sense that I would just be blissed out, you know. But
then you also have helpers and all that also from the other side that also can come through to help you, to guide you, to show you that there are something more than just this hell that you are going through.
Yeah, you're the first person that has described something that was so similar to what I experienced. It's interesting.
Well, the thing is that I've been going through hell several times in my life, and every time I survive, I'm a stronger outcome for each time.
Yeah.
So I know all about that side of life. So I also think that the darker you can go, well, I guess it doesn't sound right when I'm saying it like this, as the darker you can experience, also the lighter, the opposite side you can also see.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I have a question, or maybe not a question, but you know, I want you to, if you would like to talk about your experience with ETs as well. So just going back to the emotional scale, I mean, is there more that you would like to add to how we can get into a constant state? So you said like through animals and through or whatever brings us joy, right?
Yeah. The thing is that you need to find something that are in that condition that it can actually make your heart burst.
Right.
It's not that you're just taking the animal on your lap and just feel love for it. You need to get a higher, the highest level as possible, and then start there and work further up.
So it's kind of like constantly reaching for that feeling, right?
Yeah.
And just keep elevating your feeling to the next.
Yeah, that's
level.
the point.
Okay. Okay.
If you do it, as I said, if you do it properly, you will be flying high in several days and weeks just after a few days.
So it's lasting once you get on that.
It does, absolutely.
On that vibration. That's really interesting.
Yeah, no, several years ago, I was a single mom, and I needed a loan in the bank because I needed to move to a new house. And as a single mom, you are quite used to that the banks are saying no to you. And this time I found this big house that I'm living in now, and I needed some extra space for my mother because I'm taking care of her. And I needed a loan in 2 different banks that I have never put my feet into before. So the old consciousness me were always telling me, just give it up, you don't need to bother try, and all these kind of things. I had the wish, and I was sending it out for a long time, that I need some money, but nothing happened. So okay, I was thinking, okay, I have nothing to lose, or well, I did have a lot to lose, my house, the new house and everything. So I made it up as a game. So I was putting in as much emotion as possible, and I was playing loud and clear that I was having this phone call several times a day. Yoo-hoo, hooey! That I was getting the phone call from the right person, and they were saying this and this and that, and I was getting the loan, etc. I was doing this for 1.5 weeks, and my mother, she thought I was going nuts. And then one day I was doing the same thing again, but this time my phone was actually ringing.
Wow.
And the person who said was from the bank, and she said, you will have it if the other one says yes, and the other one says yes too. So then I was just, yeah.
So in the beginning, you were acting, you were kind of improvising that situation, living as if, or putting yourself in the vibration of the thing.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, okay, if I had that phone with someone telling me that you had a loan in the bank, would you react like, okay, thank you? Of course you wouldn't. You would be yoo-hoo, running around and jumping, really, really happy. So you had to figure out how would you actually react if that thing really happened. And that's the feeling and the joy and the thing that you must practice.
I have had that experience because I lived in a ballroom in a mansion when I couldn't afford it. It manifested when I was looking for a place. And everything was against me, but I kept believing it and, you know, just feeling good about it. And it finally happened. But then I'd forgotten about that. And then the walls come up and you feel like hopeless and desperate and negative and fearful. And it puts you back into the beginning.
It does. It slows down your wishes quite well. So the better you can pretend it and you can play it and you can really feel it, higher emotion, the quicker it will come. But you have to do the act, you have to do the playing, you have to really jump into it. It's like I said in the beginning, if you're asking someone, are you happy, are you having a good time? Yes. Okay, you don't look like it. You don't sound like it. So they are like this very low state kind of what they think that that there is happiness. But people, they do react differently if they're really happy. It's like if you are falling in love. when you think that the world is the best place ever, then suddenly a lot of other people are jumping into your life existence and trying to, hello. And of course, where were they when you were looking for someone? I guess most people have that experience.
Does anybody have any questions about the vibrational scale and or manifesting for Kate? Anybody in the group? Welcome to the person that joined us. Is it
Deneen.
Deneen?
Janine, hi. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. Welcome.
Welcome, Deneen.
I'm from the Midwest in USA.
Good to have you with us. So we're talking about manifesting and using the vibrational scale. And Kate was teaching us about getting into the heart or into a heart space of pure joy and elevating your consciousness to a place and using this vibrational scale to take you to your manifestation, right? Do I have that right, Kate?
Yeah. It's all the time to reach for that even higher level than you already are.
Right.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had that experience, well, at different points in my life, but one way that I had it was through chanting kirtan, chanting mantras.
Mm-hmm.
For example, going to a Krishna Das kirtan in New York years ago, I went into the state of just pure bliss. And I find that like with that repetition of the mantra, it can really help. And especially when it's combined with like, the music of the kirtan and the energy of everybody in there. I've had through kirtan that experience quite a few times. So I do think that like mantra could be one way, because the vibration of the mantra is so high. And if you're really, feeling that and tuning into that vibration, it can really, really help elevate you into that state. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing with this, because there are so many different things that actually can bring us much, much higher. The only problem for most people is that they don't know that you can take it higher.
Yeah. Yeah, I was commuting to work on the Staten Island ferry, listening to Krishna Das on my iPod. And my heart was just like, as you said, just bursting. And I even all these like people that normally would like get on my nerves, I just was filled with like unconditional love for everybody. I saw everyone as beautiful.
Wow.
And it was, I was in that state of pure bliss, and it lasted the whole day. It was amazing. Yeah. So,
But imagine if you were repeating this for several days and even try to reach higher and higher. It's not that you are reaching on pressure, because if you do that, if you try to force it, then you will destroy it. You just have to look for the emotions and feel more and more and more. So it goes gradually. But if you do that and do it again and again and again, you will change your life big time.
Mantra is a really powerful tool to elevate your consciousness and your vibration. I'm an initiate of Holy Mantra, which just simply means that a master has given me that mantra, a spiritual master. And it's said, and I don't know whether you believe this or not, that if you do mantra without being initiated into it, you can invoke negative karma against yourself. I mean, you can choose not to believe that, but whether that changes the karma, I don't know. But I think you can get a recording with initiation into dynamic and soul mantra, and through the recording of listening to the master say the words, then you can that goes into your vibration, and it kind of like awakens you. So I think it's important to do it properly. Otherwise, if you don't, you could be invoking negative karma against yourself. That's just my experience.
I can't say anything about it because I never used mantras.
I experienced something along the lines of what Anna was talking about with the Ho'oponopono technique.
Yes, me too. Yes.
It
yes.
just makes me feel, if I'm feeling particularly negative or, you know, down about something, I'll do it in relation to whatever's making me feel bad, and it really helps. It really helps. I mean, I haven't like really raised up into a state of bliss with it, but as far as just alleviating it and raising to a couple steps above dread, you know, it has really helped, that just doing that.
I did it with Ho'oponopono. I did like an entire day where I was just doing it for my, like all the time, all day long, to parts of my body, to my organs, to every person I saw. And that also helped me get to that state. Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, if anybody doesn't know what the Ho'oponopono technique is, it's repeating the words, thank you, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me. And there was a stage in early on in mine and Joe's relationship where we broke up, and I was heartbroken, and I did the Ho'oponopono thousands of times repeatedly, and I think it actually brought him back to me.
And here he is.
Here he is.
My nickname for him is Witchy Poo.
Witchy Poo. I love it.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, it works in the same way as what you're talking about, Kate, in raising your vibration, right?
Yeah.
Because just those words, and it reflects back to what I was saying about the words, and the words that we speak being really powerful, because words have vibration, as Dr. Emoto taught us with the hidden messages of water and all of that work. You know, we are water. So if we say beautiful things like I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, it will have an effect.
I think it's also really, like you were Kate, you were talking about the power of emotion in manifestation. And I think if you're doing the Ho'oponopono with sincere emotion,
with feeling
in each one of those statements, then it becomes way more powerful than if you're just saying the words over and over, sort of detached.
Well, for me, if I'm struggling with something, I'm not using words. I'm trying actually to do escape from words. I'm looking for the emotional thing instead. And the thing is that when I listen to you, some of the things that you are saying, it's like you are doing this Ho'oponopono, or how you say it, and you come to a certain state, but then you stop there. The whole idea that you are continuing further up.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's the thing I'm trying to get through, that when you're coming to a highest level as you possibly can, and then you start, that is a working, like a start line, and then you continue.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you can't use words to continue. You must use your emotions to build on your emotions.
Right.
To continue.
Interesting.
That's a really valid point. I wanted to say something just before you said that about, you know, I mentioned a recording called Initiation into Dynamic and Soul Mantra, where there's like you can purchase this recording online, and it's a whole load of mantras, holy words said by a master. And one of the things that they teach you when you do it is to do it with feeling and with love, you know. And it's the same thing with Ho'oponopono, and like what you're saying, Kate, is that's the key. That's the, you know, the essence is get into a vibration of joy or love or feel, you know, deep feeling.
Yeah, but at the end, you have to skip the words you are saying in your head, or you have to skip the mantras. You just use all your focusing on the feelings to move forward.
Right.
Words can give you the words can, or the mantras can make you to the point that is here, but you need to just focus on the emotions to continue.
Wow, that's amazing.
I would, if I can jump in there for a moment, I would agree with Kate here. We I've been working with a certain group for many years, and I know you guys have heard me talk about that before, and a certain ascended master. And we used to ohm a lot. We would chant and ohm and, focus on raising the energy through the chakras and out through the third eye. And one day they just said to us, it's like, this is much more powerful if you actually don't ohm and you don't make the sound. So it's not even about it. So the words are a manifestation of man. Words are not a manifestation of God. Word energy in I think what Kate's saying is like the emotion, the energy, and the feeling is far more powerful than any words can portray. And so I do that a lot now. And so I used to ohm physically out loud, ohm and follow the mantra and the chant, but now I don't actually say it out loud. I don't make the sound, and I do it here in my mind and in my body. And so I would agree, Kate, it's not about the words, that sometimes it's about the vibration. So
The question, are you thinking the Om in your mental mind?
in a way, initially, yes. To transition from the actual physical, like going Om, and after a while you feel the vibration. So initially, yes, I was literally saying the Om in my mind, but now I go more with the feeling, with the way that it feels within my own body and the way that it feels within my mind that I do it. If you get sort of thrown back into the illusion of this world that we see, I will go back to using the Om in my mind. Yes, and it helps me find that vibration again.
Look, can I ask the question?
I can feel that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when you don't think the Om in your head, but just use the feeling of the Om, do you feel closer to the Om than closer to that vibration than when you're thinking it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That I can do that in this, like, yeah, it's there.
Yes,
Correct.
and it feels very expansive. Your body feels light. So I would say yes.
I was taught to always refer to that word as the AUM, because it has such great power that you should always treat it with reverence. And I was also taught that there is a way of saying it just in your head, but the way to do that is to fold your tongue backwards. This is what the yoga masters used to do. Like, you literally fold your tongue backwards into your head and press till it physically hurts. And the correct way to say it is with your tongue folded backwards, pressing down, because it stops all thought and allows you to get into the vibration of the AUM. That's what I was taught. I know everybody has different modes, but I think, as Kate said, the key is the feeling. Yeah. Right.
For me, I think that if you can let go of yourself, you kind of disappear.
Yes, the ego death.
Yeah, and if you want to let go of yourself, you can't think. You just have to ride on the emotion, and then you can focus on the emotion, and then you can rebuild that one.
Right. Okay, well, does anybody have any questions? Because of time, I want to move on and ask Kate about her UFO and ET experiences. I know it's a big ask to ask you to talk about that briefly, but does anybody have any questions about the vibrational scale and that subject before we move on to that area? Okay. Well, if anything comes up, then please, and obviously please check out Kate's work and her book. Do you want to just say your
Well, I have my book here. That's a hybrid story. Where I'm talking about that's my life story. There's close encounters. There are past lives. There are all kind of things that has to be with spiritual growth in it. So yeah.
A hybrid story. And where can people find out about your work?
Then you can find that one on my homepage. That is www.katethorvaldsen.com.
Okay,
So
great.
if you are able to write my last name, then you can
Challenge for some
find
of
it.
us. Yeah.
Maybe you can put it in the chat. That would be helpful. And we can also put it on the Sacred Segments group.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you put it up already on the commercial for this show tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Facebook? Are you on
So-
Facebook? Are you on Facebook? Facebook.
Yes.
You
She
are, okay. Do you have your book on there?
Well, you can connect me there. I do have some commercials for my book there, yes. I do
Okay,
have
your
other books too. This is the last one I made. It's called Knows About Water. This book is about how to prevent depressions and become depression-free without drugs.
Wow.
One of the topics in here is also spirituality and psychiatry. That
Is it available in English?
What?
Is it available in English?
I have everything now translated into English, and I am working on putting it into InDesign, so it will be like an ebook to begin with.
Okay.
So,
Very
but it's
cool.
not available yet.
That's exciting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Well, because of time, I want to I still would like to ask Bonnie to talk about her healing herb, and I don't know if you've been working on any art.
Here's my art.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh wow. Is that a craft in the middle?
It's a pentagram, actually.
I can also see a rune in there, which is the rune for breakthrough, and the rune for the self. There's lots in that.
I actually cheated. I used another form that I had, but because Kate was going to speak on UFOs, I chose this so that I could zoom on into it. And so that's where we went.
Very
So,
cool. Okay.
Are there any one of you guys in the group there that have experiences with close encounters?
did I what? I'm sorry.
Is there any one of you that have experienced close encounters?
Yes,
No.
I'm doing a tomorrow on UFOs. But
Okay.
Say that
I
again, please, Bonnie, because you were breaking up.
okay, tomorrow I am doing a podcast on UFOs and my experience.
That's
So
good.
that's why I was chose this so that I could listen to you, because there's some things I need to hold back on. And honestly, I was told that this weekend spiritually, hold back. And so Monday morning, I was hit with something major going on with my son, who's 1,700 miles from me. And so this was a warning: if you don't hold back, blah, blah, blah. It was a threat. And so that's why I was listening to you to see, well, let me get the feel for what you're experiencing and how far can how far can I go? And anyway, so that will be my intention when we close out, is I am still in the hearing and learning before tomorrow. How far do you open? How far do you go? How far can you let it? How far do you learn, and where do you shut it off?
Well, as advice is that if you are opening up and the more you're telling about your story, you have to expect you will have people that are telling you all the most shitty things you can ever dream of. And they will do it public.
Right, right.
So if you don't have the stomach for it, you should never do it.
I just published a book that the first review I got was a 3 and no comments. So if you ever read my book, please, even if you don't like it, tell me why. Don't just put a 3 and leave.
Okay, I have to move on because of time.
Yeah.
But I still want everybody to get their segment in, and we're going to finish in 20 minutes. So the next 5 minutes, I would like to ask you, Kate, to just speak about your UFO experiences, if that's okay with you.
I can start with the first one I had, because that story actually is quite cute. And I guess that also set my emotional scale, if you can put it that way, to how I react on this kind of beings. Because I was just 3 years old when I had my first close encounter. This was very, very close up to Christmas time. And my mother, she has taken me to the bedroom and put me into the crib because I was supposed to go to bed and sleep, but I wasn't tired. So I was standing there in this dark room and I was looking out these big windows and I saw some of the stars. And of course, here these are on the 2nd floor, and there was no possibility that cars or the light from the cars was coming and lighting up the room or anything. So the room was black. And I was standing there, and then suddenly the wall on my left side became blurry. And out from this wall came this creature. And it was like he was gliding over the floor, and then he was standing in front of the crib. So if you think about the size of the crib and me 3 years old standing in it, and then you're having this one that was probably this much higher than me. It wasn't much. Of course, I was 3 years old. I didn't know what this was. So I was starting blah, 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 and trying to get this one to answer back. But then I understood that we were communicating on a picture level, emotional level. We were not communicating with words. So he was giving me the feeling that he was there to see if I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just, I'm not sure for how long he was standing there, but it was just this kind of back and forth a little bit. And then he just glided up the same way he came through the wall. And then in the next moment, I saw this creature with another one inside of a craft hanging in front of the huge bedroom window. And then they took off. And in my head, I was thinking, yay, Santa Claus was here. Whee! Because I was told that I will be meeting him soon by my mother. And then 1 week later, it was Christmas. My mother, she took me on her arm and brought me into the living room because I was going to meet Santa. And I came into the living room, and there was this guy, the red suit, plastic face, and a false beard. I was screaming my head off. I was terrified and I was angry because that was not my Santa. So the rest of the family was, what? Listen, they had no idea what they were talking about. But later on, I found out that my mother, she knew what I have seen in the bedroom because she has experienced the same thing. My grandfather, he has seen them. So it runs with the family, but it's on my mother's side and not my father's side.
I have a question, please, Kate, if I may. All of your experiences throughout your life with ETs, if you were to encapsulate the message or the feeling, or what do you think that they're about? Why do you think that you've been contacted, and how has it impacted you as a person and your life?
Well, I think that they're following you for many different reasons. Past lives is an issue. And of course, then it runs with the family. And there's also a job that you have to do. So there are many different things, many different aspects. It's not just one.
Right. And do you feel that there is any kind of message that you would like to share with us or whoever's watching the video in the future of this?
In what way are you thinking that is supposed to be given from them, or?
Well, either from them, or has it left you with a feeling that, you know, of a message that you want to share? What is the greatest impact that it's had that you would like to share with people?
Well, it's never a message.
Right.
Can I
For
ask?
me, it has been more like a personal one. What? Yeah.
It sounds to me, from what the experience that you described, it sounds to me that the being that came in and visited you that night knew you and knew who you were, because he said, "I'm just coming to check on you, to check that you're okay," almost like a family member would do.
Yeah.
You know, so I think maybe the message I got was that you are, they are family.
Yeah.
in a way.
That's how I feel too. I guess that my last experience, it was a little bit more rough one, but still, because of, since I have the past I have with them, that I'm looking at it in a different way. If you had time, I can take the last one too, because that was quite a life-changing one. That was back in '96, and I was supposed to be in a cabin all alone, miles and miles away from people. I did not even have a car, so I can get away. I bought everything I need from food and all kind of stacked up, and I was supposed to be there for 2 months working on my book. So that book has taken a lot of years. So I was there for 1 week. So it ended quite rapidly, not sooner than I was hoping for. The thing is that I always liked to be alone. And this place was so quiet that you can hear the quietness. It was just perfect. I was staying up there, but then one morning I was waking up and I was coming into it's the kind of a bathroom. It's not electricity or anything like that in that cabin. And then I'm seeing my face in the mirror, and you can see like sharp edges, you know, like a fork, but a very big fork, but kind of a metal thing, like a grip that was marks over my face and my eyelids. Really, there was no pillow mark. Trust me, you can see the difference from a pillow mark and this sharp edged things that was printed on my face. Mm-hmm. And I had this kind of a gray greenish dry liquid from my nose and from my eyes, and my nose was sore, and I was feeling that, oh, am I going to be sick or something? It felt weird. There was something that wasn't right. But of course, since you are living alone in a cabin, you need to fire up the place. You have to do all kinds of things. So life kind of comes in the way. So you have to focus on that things instead. But when the evening came, it was like every fiber in my body told me that something had happened and I don't remember what. Mm-hmm. So the next night, I think I was reading the same magazine, perhaps 20 times. I refused to go to sleep. So the next morning, I was finally getting in contact with the people who owned the cabin. And they said, okay, we can come up and pick you up later. So I was packed and ready to go when they were coming. And 2 big men was coming out of the dark, stepping into the veranda, and they were talking at the same time. I guess my nerves, I'm not having problems with nerves, but just by hearing their voices, I was almost like I was on top of the ceiling.
You were traumatized.
Yeah, so, and then they brought me back to the town. And then I saw the difference, because the first thing you do normally is you have your phone. I had to charge my phone as best as I could on an old car battery. Now I was sticking this into the wall, and the sound of that charger, it was the same as a microphone was screaming.
Oh yeah, I understand.
So,
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to stop you in 1 minute. So you have 1 minute left.
Okay, then I will actually miss the whole point. Cutting story short, after that trip, I got sensitive hearing, I got sensitive smell. I haven't smelled anything since I was 10 years old, and I had my second close encounter. After that, I can actually put, I guess I don't have that now, because I was not expecting to talk about aliens, but I can actually put magnets on my face or 32 places on my body and they will stick. And they are symmetrical placed.
Wow.
So
I-
after all of this, I started with doing the quantum physics and cosmology, and I have no education at all. But I did work together with a professor in quantum physics for more than 30 years in Bulgaria. So they wanted my stuff, but as I said, they have to wait till my book is done. And
Well, I would like to invite you back onto Sacred Segments, and please, you're welcome to join us anytime. We meet every 2 weeks here, and you know, I want to invite you back to share more of your story, because obviously you have a lot to share, and you know, it's great having you here. There will be an opportunity to say more closing words later, but for now, thank you. And I'm going to hand over to Greta to do some healing work for the next 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah.
With you. Yeah.
just as a final word, if I come on the next time, I shall demonstrate the magnets then instead.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay. So what I will do is some emotion code, and emotion code is energy healing modality that we use to find and release negative trapped emotions that are trapped in the energy body. And what this does is it actually, because we release trapped negative energies, it is going to help raise our emotional vibration. If there is anyone in the group who would not like to be included, I would like to see a hand in a second. Let me see. Hand up if you don't want to be included in this group healing. And I see no hands, so I'm going to include all of you. And I invite you to, in your mind, invite in anyone who you think might benefit from this. And if it serves their highest and best good, they will be included as well. Okay. My name is this group. My name is Greta. It's safe for us to do this healing now. So what I want to do is I want to release anything that is standing between us or anything that is blocking us from living our highest and best good and reaching our goals. And the first emotion that comes up is dread. The emotion of dread, and that is usually fearing something that hasn't happened yet or that we fear will happen. Dread. It can be something that's happened to you before and you're afraid it's going to happen again. So just acknowledge whatever comes up for you. And now we're going to release it, and that's done with your hand or a magnet. So from between your eyebrows, swipe 3 times to the back of your head to release this trapped emotion of dread. Is it released? Yes. Is there more? Yes. And the next one is creative insecurity. Creative insecurity is an emotion that evolves around insecurity around creating anything in your life, whether that is a meal, a family, a relationship, a job, a home. It can be big, it can be small. You just acknowledge whatever comes up for you. And we can release. So 3 swipes to release this trapped emotion of creative insecurity. Was it released? Yes. More? Yes. Anger. Next emotion to come up is anger. And we can release. 3 swipes to release this trapped emotion of anger. Is that released? Yes. More? Yes. Defensiveness. So let's release this trapped emotion of defensiveness. And that's released. More? Yes. Another anger. So let's release that. 3 swipes. And was that released? Yes, more. Another defensiveness. Let's release. 3 swipes. Release, yes. Is there more? Yes. Sorrow. Sorrow. So let's release that trapped emotion of sorrow. Was that released? Yes. Are we complete? Yes. So for those of you who are new, I just want to let you know that what we just now did was called emotion code. And you can actually learn to do this for yourself and your friends and family by reading the book, The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. There's more information on discoverhealing.com or my website, coachgreta.com. So you can either learn it by yourself or you can contact me and I can assist you in holding space for the process is needed to take you from where you are now to your goal. So thank you all for allowing this healing for all of us. And thank you, Alexis.
Thank you so much
for this.
For your service. Beautiful. And I want to ask, I know that this needs to be very short. So if we could keep it to 1 minute because we've run out of time. What is your herb that you're going to mention this week, Bonnie?
My herb?
Yeah.
It's astragalus, and I chose it because flu season is here. There are 2,000 to 3,000 trees. Only the 2,000 or 3,000 trees have roots that have astragalus that work. They're in North Korea and in China. And it's an excellent thing to use for the number one thing is, where is the number? Okay, acts as an anti-inflammatory, and that is in most diseases, including flu, cancers, immunodeficiencies, antimicrobial, antiviral, and you can get it at your local drugstore. But remember, there's only two plants out of 3,000 that have the roots that actually work.
I can definitely vouch for you. Both Joe and I are taking astragalus, and it's the one thing, and I learned about it several years ago, that gets us better during flu season. Whenever we have flu or cold, we take astragalus, and it's a Chinese immune boosting herb. It boosts your immune system, and it's really good to learn a little bit more about it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I had to condense it down into a minute. That's very useful. So I want to close this session on time, and I'm going to ask you all to think of a power word that represents the energy of the next segment of intention that we're going to go to this evening, which is when we close this session. What word do you want to embody the energy that you are moving into next? I need like a few seconds just to think about what that is for myself. And I would like you to all do the same. Okay, I've got it. For me, it's high vibration. I know that's 2 words, but that's my words. High vibration. Bonnie, what's yours?
Awareness.
Thank you. And Kate?
I know. No, my head is blank right now. I guess it would just be all the time struggle to be a little bit better and better all the time.
Very cool. Thank you. Joe?
Love.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Luke.
I'm gonna go with lighten up.
Love it. Thank you. Could you read that for me?
Deneen.
Deneen, thank you.
Love.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hi, Syra.
Hello, sorry I couldn't join you before.
Well, you're here now. Good to see you.
What-
What's your word?
I would actually agree with Luke that lighten up.
Love that. Yeah.
Enlighten.
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 Or enlighten up.
It literally is the meaning of enlightenment,
Absolutely.
right? To lighten up.
I love that. I'm going to take that into the future. Anna?
Calm.
Calm.
Oh, I heard the word, the AUM.
Me too.
Both of those work.
Yeah.
All right, that's beautiful. Thank
Me.
you.
Greta?
Oh, Greta.
What about me?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. My word, well,
Because we're one. That's
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna be greedy, so I'm gonna do 3. Grounded, supportive, and healing. That's my intention for the next segment.
I'm feeling that. She has such beautiful energy. Like it's a rare thing for us to be in the same room together. So
The second time ever.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, everyone, and
Thank you.
sending you all love, and let's all lighten up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Love you all, and
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
join us in a couple of
Thank
weeks
you.
if you can. Thank you so much, Kate, and thank you, Bonnie, for your art and for your healing, and thank you, Greta, for everything that you've done for us as
course.
well.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for all being here. See you in a couple of weeks for those that can join us. Okay, you're never far. See you soon.
Thank you,
See you
Kate.
soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Janine.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.